Hello student, welcome for today's session. Today we are going to study the stratified random sampling. Last class we have seen the two different types of probability sampling. We have seen systematic sampling and simple random sampling. And today we will be studying regarding stratified random sampling. So what is exactly the stratified random sampling is? It is a type of probability sampling using which a research organization can branch of the entire population into multiple non-overlapping homogeneous group that is called strata. Okay, that is homogeneous group is called strata, and randomly choose final members from the various strata, okay, that is group, for research which reduces cost and improves the efficiency. Okay, this is also the part of probability sampling. What we are doing here is we are creating the branch of the whole population or entire population which we are going to do the research, and it should not be overlapping, means multiple times it should not come. And here most important thing is homogeneous groups, means all are having the same characteristic, that is the strata. And what we do, randomly choose final members. Here we are not deciding whom we are going to choose, but we are randomly choosing them, okay, from the various strata which we have decided for a research. And here it is for easy to the researcher, where he can reduces the cost and improves the efficiency. Okay, so members in each these groups should be distinct so that every member of all groups get equal opportunity to be selected using simple probability. Okay, here again same thing, all will get the same equal chance and equal opportunity, but here the group should be distinct so that every member of all groups get equal opportunity. And this sampling method is also called as random quota sampling. Okay, we have seen this word, random sampling quota, so also called as random quota sampling. Now what we again go when we go for this, okay, type of sampling. So age, socioeconomic divisions, nationality, religion, educational achievements, and other such classifications fall under stratified random sampling. Okay, so these where we go for it, especially age, socioeconomic division, nationality, religion, educational, okay, achievement wise, and other. If we consider a situation where a research team is seeking opinion about religion amongst various age groups, okay, for example, there is an number of population in that we would like to study the religion, okay, amongst those groups. So instead of collecting feedback from this number, okay, so US citizens, the random sample of around 10,000 can be selected for research. That is fine. Okay, so these 10,000 citizens can be divided into strata according to the age, that is the group that we how we do. Okay, you might have filled any form. Okay, this dividation you will get it. What is your age? 18 to 19. Even online form when you are filling, you might have gone through this. Okay, what age you belong? 18 to 19, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59. So this is the group that is called strata, and 60. So and above. So each strata will have distinct members and number of members. So this is how the dividing goes on in stratified. The stratified came from the strata. So the 8 steps which we follow for stratified random sample. So first of all, obviously for every research process, the first step is define the target audience to whom we are going to study. The second process is recognize the stratification variable, okay, or variables, and figure out the number of strata to be used. So we have to decide here how many strata we are going to use. In last example, we have seen it is like 18 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, maximum 70 to 79. So here we are deciding the group. Okay. So same way, what state I'm going to use. Okay. And even you can go with the income level. Your income level 10 to 15,000, 15 to 20,000, 20 to 25,000. So that also can be stratified. So these stratification variables should be line with the objective of the research, okay, which we are going to study. Every additional information decide the stratification variables. Okay, so for instance, if the objective of research to understand all subgroups, the variables will be related to the subgroups, not the main group, and all the information regarding these subgroups will impact the variable which we are going to study, which we are decided, or independent variable. So ideally, no more than 4-6 stratification variables and no more than 6 data should be used in sampling, because an increase in stratification variable will increase the chances of some variables cancelling out the impact of other variables. So when we are making this stratification 4 to 6 or whatever, it should be minimum to 6, maximum 5, and minimum should be fixed. So why the reason is, if you decide more groups, so there is a chance of eliminating or losing, canceling the variables. So we have to go for minimum 4 and 6 stratification. And third is, use an already existent sampling frame or create a frame that's inclusive of all the information of the stratification variable for all the elements in the target audience. So sampling frame, you know how we decide it, okay, existent, or we can create another for frame for that particular sampling method. So here, information of stratification variable and all the elements in the target audience should be included. We have to include this in the frame that we are going to study. And next is, make changes after evaluating the sampling frame on the basis of lack of coverage, over coverage, or grouping. Okay. So lack of coverage means which we cannot cover. Over coverage means it should be like most of the accessible, or grouping. So here we have to decide. Okay. So if you see this, changes evaluating the sampling frame on the basis of lack of coverage, which we cannot do touch, over coverage, and grouping. And the fifth is, this is not first one, this is fifth one. Considering the entire population, each stratum should be unique and should cover each and every member of the population which we are going to study. So we have already given the group that stratified. So all should get the chance. It should be every time it should be unique one. And the sixth one, assign a random unique number to each element. That can be done. So figure out the size of each stratum according to your requirement. Okay. So the numerical distribution amongst all elements in all the strata will determine the type of sampling. Okay. So because the size, how much you are going to study, so that will be deciding. Okay, types of sampling to be implemented. So it can either be proportional or disproportional stratified sampling. That is also we can decide. Or either we can go with the proportion basis or disproportional stratified sampling. And the last step is, the researcher can then select random element from each stratum to form the sample. 18 to 29 if I decided. So I will take one sampling in that 80 to 29. Okay. But the number of we are going to, that also we have to decide. Minimum one element must be chosen from each stratum so that there is representation from every stratum. But if two elements from each stratum are selected, to easily calculate the error margins of the calculation of collected data. So that can be managed. So these are all the steps. Now, what are the types of stratified sampling, random sampling? So here, proportionate stratified and first one. So how we do this? Okay. So each stratum sample size is directly proportional to the population, number of population, and directly proportional size of the entire population of the strata. The strata is again the group we have make population. That means each strata sample has the same sampling fraction. So how we do that? So proportionate stratified sampling formula is NH. That is the proportionate we are checking. So N, capital N divided by N into small n. So what is this NH? The sample size for H stratum. That is the group. And the capital NH is the population size for H stratum, the number of total population. N is the size of entire population. So here the population size for H, the NH, is about the stratum, and N is the entire population we are taking. And N, the small n, is size of entire sample, how much we are going to do. So with this, we can calculate the proportionate stratified sampling. Now, if you see here, if you have four strata with 500, 1000, 1500, 2000. So these are the four strata we are having, respective sizes. And the research organization select half as a 1 by 2 sampling fraction. So a researcher has to then select 250 because 500 divided into 1 by 2, 1000, 1000, 1500, and 10,000 members from the respective startup because half is a sampling fraction. So irrespective of sampling size of the population, the sampling fraction will remain uniform across all the strata. So if you look at A, the population size is 500 and sampling fraction is 1 by 2. The final sampling size will be 250. The same case with the all because the fraction which we are selecting, that is 1 by 2. Disproportionate stratified random sampling. So here, sampling fraction is the primary differentiating factor between the proportionate and disproportionate stratified random sampling. Okay, so what we are deciding here, it is the fraction. So that is the main primary differentiation factor for the proportionate and disproportionate stratified random sampling. So in disproportionate sampling, each stratum will have the different sampling fractions. We are here we were allowing 1 by 2, 1 by 2. So here it will be different sampling fraction. The success of this sampling method depends on the researcher's precision at fractions allocation, how much expertise he is, okay, how much exactly he knows scrutinize. So if the allotted fractions aren't accurate, the result may be biased due to the overrepresented or underrepresented strata. Okay, so here accurate, so that will be the overrepresentation because you are not allotted the fraction properly, and somewhere you are not allotted very hugely allotted, and some point of time you are not very less allotted. So here there will be an over representation or might be under representation because of the fraction allotment. So if you see here ABC, the same example 500, 1000, 1500, 2000. For A we are going for 1 by 2, but for B we are going for 1 by 3, and C 1 by 4, and D 1 by 5. This is differentiated fraction we are allotting for each strata or each group A, B, C, D. Okay, that is the strata. And here what we get sampling is for A 500, we have to go for 250. For 1000, we have to go for 333. And for C 1500, we have to go for 375. And for 2000, we have to go for 400. But the case here, if you see, it is all same fractions we have allotted. Okay, proportionate stratified, but disproportionate. So obviously, we are not giving the same fraction for all the strata, which we are going to study here. Now, stratified random sampling example. Okay, researcher and statistician use stratified random sampling to analyze the relationship between two or more strata. Okay, so as the stratified random sampling involves multiple layers or strata. Okay, it's crucial to calculate strata before calculating the sample value. How many strata, whether 4 or 6. And then in that strata, we have to decide how much proportionate we are going to give it. Okay, that we have already seen two different types. Either we can go with the proportionate or disproportionate. The following is a classic stratified random example. So let's say there are 100 students, that is the NH, of a school having 1000 N, that is the total population. Okay, so students were asked question about their favorite subject. So in fact, that the students of 8th grade will have different subject preference than the student of 9th grade. For the survey to deliver precise result, the ideal manner is to divide each grade into various strata. We have to divide it into different groups. So grade 5, grade 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, number of students 150, 250, 300, 200, 100. How we divide it? So if you do 100 divided by 1000, 100 divided by 1000 into 250, because this 150, 250, 300, 200, 100 is the number of the student of that particular grade of the class. Okay, and this 100 is the sample. Okay, the NH, total students are 1000. Okay, so that's why we are taking this. So we get 15, 25, 30, 20, and 10. Okay, so this is the example for making a strata. This is school level. Now, what are the advantages of stratified random sampling? So here better accuracy in results in comparison to other probability sampling. So we have simple random sampling and even we have the systematic random sampling. Cluster we will study in the next class. Okay, non-probability method such as convenience sampling, this accuracy will be dependent on the distinction of various data. That is, the result will be highly accurate if all the data are extremely different. The data, I hope you understand. Just to remember this, remember the age and remember the salary. Okay, as an example, for 18 to 29 age or 30 to 39 age, you just remember, or salary you can say 10,000 to 15,000. What is your salary? So that also you can go for, or you can go NM salary, 2.5 to 5 lakh, 5 to 7.5 lakh. That also you can decide. Then second is convenient to train a team to stratify a sample due to the exactness of the nature of this sampling technique. Okay, so team whichever is going to study, so you can easily do that because we are already stratifying the population. You will get the exact nature. Due to statistical accuracy of this method, smaller sample sizes can also retrieve highly useful result for a researcher. So you can get the accuracy because statistical, the smaller sample size, the more accurate the design you will get. So this sampling technique covers maximum population as the researcher have complete charge over the data division, because you know how the people from 18 to 29 think and 30 to 39 think and 40 to 49 think. You have already decided the data. So that you know, on that basis, it can be easily, you can cover the maximum population in that. So when to use the random sampling? So stratified random sampling is an extremely productive method of sampling in situation where researcher intends to focus only on specific data from the available population data. You just would like to study the students. So in students, again, how you decide? School students, 8th, 9th, 10th. Again, you can go with the all the PU students or degree students or again engineering, which background. So that is an example. You can study the particular data, and you can study the particular data on the basis of social status also, on the basis of income, on the basis of class, middle class, lower class, upper class. That also you can. So this way the desired characteristic of this data can be found in the survey sample. And next is researchers rely on this sampling method in cases where they intended to establish a relationship between two or more different data. Okay, so if this comparison is conducted using simple random sampling, so there is a higher likelihood of target groups being not equally represented. But here we have created the data, okay, groups, so we can get the exact. The samples with a population which are difficult to access or contact can be easily be involved in the research process using the stratified random sampling technique. And next is the accuracy of statistical result is higher, that we have already seen it, because in the simple random sampling, since the elements of the sample are chosen from relevant data. So here the diversification within the data will be much lesser than the diversification which existed in the target population. So here, due to the accuracy involved, it is highly probable that the required sample size will be much lesser, and that will help researcher in saving time and effort also. So we have seen the examples also. We have decided 500,000, 2,000, like Stata 1500, okay, 500,000, 1500, 2,000 Stata. So in that again we can go with the proportionate. Okay, different proportionate also we can give, equal proportionate also we can. So here the size reduces, okay, the accuracy will be more, and the statistical result will get very fine. So this is today's class. So if you have any doubt,